This is it. The final showdown. The last level. The unlocked final boss. Other video game references. Jin has discovered all the secrets. That Heihachi was the reason Ogre was released into the world. And though Jin managed to fully take down his father, his grandfather, winning the King of Iron Fist tournament, that's cold comfort. As finally Jin was able to channel his devil gene properly, thus summoning Ogre. But will he actually be a match to this monstrous creature this time? Or will he befall the same fate as his mother? To disappear into obscurity only to be found in Tekken Tag Tournaments game. And that technically means that Michelle was also killed by Ogre. Because she only really shows up in Tekken Tag Tournament games as well. Salt, 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 salt. Yep, yada 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 appears out of you from the darkness. Devil, Jin. Hey, spoilers? Seriously. And then Ogre awakens. Yep. That's pretty badass though. I've been really trying to hype this series up, but I can understand if people have mixed feelings about it as a whole. And if you don't care about a retelling of Tekken with nothing really going on for a lot of the side characters, what do you care? But I've had fun with this. Again, I still hope for more just because, June. It's that weird box shadow thing that they got going on that I really do not love. That's the one element that I'm just like, nah, y'all need to stop with that. Hey, you wanna party people? He activated his devil gene. Oof. The idea of facing off against an ancient Aztec warrior, is this just JoJo's Bizarre Adventure to a certain degree? That would make a lot of things JoJo's Bizarre Adventure now that I think about it. Never mind. And of course Heihachi's gonna stop him. To a certain degree, Heihachi's right, this should be Jin's fight, but... Ooh, nice recovery. God, I forgot how tiny Jin was before. Then again, it's weird seeing a younger, thinner Jin. I didn't even think about that when we actually saw it. Nice. Takes a monster to beat a monster. Nice. I mean, you're still technically a child in some purviews, but... Oh, he's pulling the Hulk smash. Man. Jin's mom got a nice booty. I didn't say that. Do not hesitate. Only strike. No, do not stoke your Mishima fire. You need both in order to be a complete warrior. Do not deny a part of yourself. Embrace both parts of yourself. See, it's kind of like the idea is like the fight that Jin is battling against isn't so much against Ogre, it's against the two halves of his being. Nice. Did he do it? Oh snap. He's dead. Hell yeah. I'm out. That is true. There it is. If not for Heihachi, a lot of people would not be dead right now. So, you thought Heihachi was... you thought Heihachi was the final boss, but you thought Ogre was the final boss. No. Of course he lands with style. Oh, Jin. Don't land like that. Oh. There it is. He's just like, yep, this could happen. This is now officially stopped being a fight. Oof. Haorang! Yeah! Oof. Your friends are your power! Oof. Yeah, still don't care for those effects. Yeah! Freaking turned into an RPG battle. Shall you? Could really use some help from King or something. Where's Julia? Just smirking over on the side there. Then again, he's probably like, oh, if it kills his friends, that'll be even more of a motivation for him. Oof. Yeah, very similar scene. Another woman he cares about in the grip of a demon. What will you do, Jin Kazama? See, I do love the fact that even the words that Heihachi said actually can be a benefit to Jin. Like I've been saying, it's just like, Heihachi said some stuff that actually are a good benefit. God, that evil grin from Heihachi. Oh, uh-oh. Here it comes. Nice. Alright, time for a real beatdown. Oof. Put some real power behind them hits. Ooh, nice. Grab him by the scruff. That was kind of awkward. Oh, yeah, nice. Ooh, really went in for a headbutt. Nice. Way to go. Whoa. That reverb on the voice. Nice. Oh, damn. God damn. Like, you unleash this evil, you ass. You want to make it sound like it's so altruistic. It's just like, you unleash this evil upon the world. That's the ultimate funny thing, too. It's just like, the most evil thing is not what possesses the devil gene or the ogre. No, it's Heihachi. It's capitalism. You gotta love Heihachi's just feeling like, oh, I'm the one who protects this world, and truly believes he is on the side of the angels. Or more so, it's a, how to call it? He thinks his ends justify the means kind of thing. See, the mainline games always really imply that she's dead. Or at least that's what it always feels like. But then they make it seem like she's just disappeared. Yep, he's chosen hate. Oh, you don't even get to see the transformation? Wake. Oh. Yeah, don't give this asshole the satisfaction. Devilman. Then he just flies off. But not before a little redecorating. Yep, sure enough. And that's what makes it so unsatisfying. Like, no. Just end it there. Because that's essentially what you're told is the way that it ends. When you get to Tekken 4, it's just like, oh yeah, that's how things conclude. You know, Jin manages to take down Ogre, Heihachi shoots him, he awakens fully to the devil gene, and then he just beats up Heihachi and pieces out. And it's just like, no, that's not a finale to anything. That's why I'm like, it's a cool journey. You know, I get it. But it's just like, to just adapt just nothing but Tekken 3 is just like, no, that is like a starting point. And I feel like y'all probably should have gone maybe deeper into certain things. Maybe explored the friendship Jin had a bit more with Xiaoyu and Haorang. Because, I mean, ultimately, if this is all there is to this, if you just judge this in a vacuum, this is nothing really. But that's most of the main plot line of Tekken 3. It's not really that deep. It's fairly straightforward. You get into the more overly complex things by the time you hit Tekken 4. That's where the really out there complex stuff happens. And if ultimately people come away from this being like, oh, it wasn't really much of anything, I can't say I blame them for that sentiment. Because it's just like, what was the point of this ultimately? Just to have it end on a, well, what happens to Jin now kind of situation. And make it sound like you only find out about what happens at the end of at the beginning of Tekken 4, but no. This is how Tekken 3 ends, but it's more solidified. Like, once you hit the next game, certain things are kind of solidified. But this ending isn't really satisfactory. I mean, most endings to most Tekken games aren't satisfactory, but I would prefer to kind of cap things off with the events of the next game rather than just be like, Jin turns into devil flies off. If this is the start of Jin's journey, and it is a massive journey with multiple undertakings, multiple twists and turns. Jin is constantly pulled between his more volatile nature and doing the right thing, and he makes some very questionable choices, all the while trying to snuff out certain aspects of evil, but it's a wild ride. And I feel that ultimately, while this might not do the story as much justice as people feels like it should, I feel like it did well enough. Better than you could have hoped for something like that. It was comprehensive, it was cohesive, it made as much sense as most fighting game plot lines. If you've ever seen a Street Fighter movie or what have you, it's about as good as that's gonna get. So, oh no, I feel like I would love to see this just continue for as long as possible. But I just don't see this getting that much attention, that's the thing. It didn't I don't think this will blow people away like Castlevania ultimately, but Castlevania had a very solid plot line and great animation. In this, it has a solid enough plot line, but there were multiple times that I'm just like, oh, we didn't get to see this fight, or oh, we didn't get to see that fight. But those are kind of counterintuitive to the plot line, and that's the unfortunate part about a adaptation of a fighting game. A lot of times, a lot of characters are kind of going to be pushed to the side because their plots aren't as cohesive to the main narrative. And this was all about Jin and his relationship with his father, his grandfather, and his mother. That was it. And the people who around him who were pretty much closest to the situation. And once Leroy had his moment with Jin, he was gone from the story. Same thing with Julia. Same thing with Nina. Just to establish a relationship with her and Jin to a certain degree for what comes later. It's bare bones stuff, but it makes sense that they're the focus because that's what essentially always inspires what comes next. The conflict between the Mishimas. If it's not Kazuya taking on Heihachi, it's Jin taking on Heihachi. When it's not Jin taking on Heihachi, it's Jin taking on Kazuya. Or Jinpachi, or whoever. It's always a Mishima situation. Or even Kazumi. I know Tekken 8's been announced. It's gearing up. I hope they finally give more answers to June. If she's dead, fine, she's dead. But just solidify it. If you know what happened at the end of Tekken 7, some things are getting resolved. So we'll see where things go in Tekken 8, what weird twists and turns they'll pull, if you even care about the story. Some people just care about the fighting. I'm not the greatest at fighting games. But some wild stuff has happened, and it's always been about Jin trying to just figure out his life, his family, his purpose, and finding balance to what he is, who he's related to, yada yada yada. But this just might not be the adaptation that pushes it forward to something better later down the line. I will be surprised if they make a follow-up to this, honest, which is unfortunate. Because while I liked it, I could easily see plenty of people who just feel like it's shallow, not detailed enough, they didn't explore enough of their favorite characters, and the animation and character models and stuff just weren't up to par. It was a subpar series. I think it was good. I think it was good personally. But from the eyes of someone overly critical, like I know how most fandoms can get, I would be shocked if this gets a follow-up. Especially with how quickly Netflix cancels things. So, I've spoken in circles on my stance with all of this. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and check out some of my other stuff on my channel. But, until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.